Hey gorgeous, welcome to Happy Go Fabulous. I am so thrilled that you're here. This is our space where we get real about life, the good, the messy and all the juicy bits in between. Real talk, real life and a whole lot of delicious living. But I must warn you, listening may cause unexpected outbreaks of fabulousness and real life magic. Hi, I'm Catherine and I am so incredibly passionate about helping inspired, motivated, impact-driven, freedom-seeking people just like you to do the deep inner work to create those beautiful outer wonders in life. It's all about revolutionising your relationship with yourself, where you fall madly, deeply in love with who you are and create a life so fabulous you can't wait to jump out of bed every morning to live it. Ready? Because ordinary living is so last season. Life's waiting and it's time to make it fabulous. Let's shimmy on in. Hey gorgeous, how are you? Welcome to another episode of Happy Go Fabulous podcast. I am so glad you're here. So very, very glad. What I thought I would share with you in this episode is this power of making small changes and the big difference that small changes can actually make. And I've been reflecting on this for a little while, but more so this last week, there's been two key things that have happened this last week that I was just like, wow, that was the tiniest thing, but big changes have come from it. And the first one of those, and you might not see it now, and I know a lot of you are listening, but some of you watch along on the YouTube channel. I've got a bandana in my hair today, so you probably won't get the full visual effects of what I'm going to describe to you, but I'll describe anyway. You know how I've been growing my hair? And I talked about this with a previous episode with Melissa Ahana. And we talked about when we go through big changes, we have both made dramatic hair decisions and, both of us shaved our head, so we cut it very short. And I did that when I was going grey, really just to get back to the essence of who I really am. But I've had that short pixie cut for probably 8, I can't quite remember, but I think it's about 8 years. And I loved it. I really, really loved it. Some days I did feel as though it was a little bit harsh and I felt a little bit too masculine with that short hair, but I did really love it. It was easy. It was super, super easy to style, even though it looked like a scarecrow quite often, but it was kind of a cute scarecrow. And when we moved here to our beautiful, beautiful, beautiful seaside sanctuary, big changes in life. And, we had other big things happen last year. And when big changes happen, I normally get a dramatic haircut. And because it was already so super short, I couldn't cut it. So I'm doing the reverse dramatic hairstyle. So I'm growing it out. And oh my goodness, this has been, I don't know, I haven't had to grow my hair out for a very long time. And when I have grown it out, it hasn't been from a dramatic, I haven't had that pixie cut before. So I haven't had to grow it out from a dramatic short to long. So I'm going through this and it's been really, really, really painful, like really painful. And I was looking back at some photos yesterday thinking, God, this has taken years. It's been 6 months. So it's, let me put that into context, but just that awkward. So when it first grew from the short pixie, I was kind of doing all that really random spiky stuff and I was tempted to cut it. And I did actually. I think I'd been growing it for maybe a couple of months and I just went, no, I cannot keep going. This is just a really awkward dagginess. I didn't feel good with my hair the way it was. So I did go in and get it cut, not really super short, but so that set me back a little bit. And then I really committed to the process. I've committed to the process that I am going to grow it out and I'm going to grow it into an all the same length, cute little bob. I think there are so many different types of bobs, but I think I saw something the other day, it might have been on Pinterest, but the cute little French girl bob. Anyway, we'll see. The cute little bingy South Coast bob. So it's kind of getting there, but it's just been, and I've been working with a new hairdresser here at the coast, and it's just got, I wish I didn't put my bandana in. I'm not going to take it out while I'm doing this because it'll just be weird. But it was kind of the layers. I felt that it needed to be cut short into a straight line. And the hairdresser said, you can't do that because you've got a really low hairline. So, and if we do that, it'll look awkward. You'll have to shave your neck. And I'm going, well, I've had to shave my neck when I had my pixie cut. That's not a problem. She said, no, I think you just need to be patient. And whenever anybody says you need to be patient, that just gets my hackles up because I know I need to be patient, but I don't like being told that I need to be patient. And she sort of cut it, but it was like this page boy. It curved down at the back. It was like shorter at the front and curved at the back. It was not even like you know how they've got these shags and mullets and stuff, which I don't love, but it was just a page boy. And I'm going, oh, I don't like it. It just felt, does anybody let me know if you can relate to that feeling of when your hair isn't right? And it might just be a little bit out of place, but it just doesn't feel right. Well, that's how my hair's been. It's almost like, it's almost there, but it's not there. I want it to be like that. Did anybody have it wasn't a Barbie doll. I was trying to think this morning if it was Skipper or if it was Cindy, but it was a doll that you had and you would press the button on her back and then pull her hair and she would have long hair and then you'd press the button again and then it would go short. I just wish that I could do that and my hair would grow. But anyway, that's not the case. So when I was just like, oh, and the last time I went in to see the hairdresser, she said, I'll see you in about 6 to 8 weeks. And I'm going, oh, I'm not putting up with this for 6 to 8 weeks. And then I thought, I don't want to go to another hairdresser because when you find a good hairdresser, you kind of want to stick with them. And I guess she's a good hairdresser. I will digress again. Moving wherever you live, for me, wherever I live, I think it's really important to have a good doctor, good healthcare providers. So when we first moved to the coast, John and I both went and met the local doctors. We had appointments, just checkups, because it was actually one of the clinics here wasn't taking new patients. So we thought we better get on the books. And I did find a doctor. I really liked her the first time I went and saw her, but I had to go back and see her a couple of weeks ago because I've had a very sore finger from the dog attack that Boston had 6 months ago. But my it got caught in the attack. And anyway, I went and saw her a couple of weeks ago, so maybe I left a little bit long. And I was the first appointment of the day, and 9:45 in the morning, 8:45. And I thought I'll get there a few minutes early because I do not like keeping people late, and I don't want to be the one that, starts things off late because doctors are notoriously late. You know what happened? She rocked in. It was more than half an hour late. It was nearly 45 minutes late. She just walked in, did not even acknowledge all the people sitting in the waiting room. And when I went in to see her, there was not even oh, sorry, or anything. It was just this, I will say it, there was this real sense of arrogance. And I went and I told her about my finger and she was very dismissive about it and that was not okay. So I need to find another good doctor. But sorry, I digress again. So moving to a new place, I think it's really good to have healthcare provider that you can trust that gets you, and a good hairdresser who trusts and gets you, that you can trust and who gets you. This new hairdresser, I'm maybe not quite yet. So anyway, not happy with this hair. Keep with me where I'm going with this. But I was in Canberra the other day. So I go back to Canberra once a fortnight. I still have corporate clients that I work with there. And I went back and I was there for 2 days this time. And I had a little bit of time for life admin. So I was doing a little bit, I bought some hiking boots. So I'll tell you about why I bought those another time, but maybe a trip that we're going on next year. So I bought some hiking boots and I bought some hiking gear and just general life admin. And I was walking past, there was one of the walk-in hairdressers, and I went, I'm just going to see if they could just straighten the back of my hair, tiny, tiny little bits. And I went in, spoke to the woman. She said, oh my God, of course. She said, the way that it's cut at the moment, I'm not sure. It's just really dipping down at the back and it looks a little bit dated. And she said, yeah, we can easy peasy fix that. And you know what she did? She was really, and I showed her the photos of what I wanted. She said, absolutely, we can get that looking almost like your end goal now while you've still got some of those layers growing out. And she said, what I'll do is I'll cut it up a little bit, so concave at the back, I think. So, and she said, I love doing straight cuts. She said, and her eye, she was just really precise. And I reckon she took, it was less than, I would say, half a centimetre off, like really minute, but really exact. And she got me. And the results, I felt amazing. So this daggy hair that has been frustrating me, and I know it's through stages, and I know it's sure, you do need to be patient, but it's also about managing it while you're being patient. Patient doesn't mean giving up. So she got me, and she was really accurate, and the results made me feel very, very happy. So amazing how this tiny little thing, this tiny element was annoying me and frustrating me. This tiny little element was annoying and frustrating me, and really it was taking a disproportionate amount of my energy because it was frustrating me so much. And so I did something about it, and the change was just this micro change, but the results were really, really dramatic. So what I want you to think about is, are there things in your life that you can make some little micro changes that will have big results? And there is, just while I'm thinking of it now, there is one of my little freebie resources that I've got called The Power of Micro Habits. And I'll put the link in the show notes for you. That's a freebie that just helps you to think about just micro habits, things that you can continually do to make a difference. What I'm talking about here is slightly different. It's just like, for me, this isn't a habit. Or maybe it will be. She said, come back in 4 weeks and just, we'll just maintain that nice, clean, sharp cut for your hair. But are there little things that you can do that will make a big difference in your life? And, the big ships, the big ocean liners and the tankers, and they can maneuver really, really easily. They're huge, but it's just this tiny little movement that will shift that whole ship. So again, it's about that small action creates that big turn and that big momentum. So what are the small actions that you can take? And there's some other things I mentioned at the beginning here. There's a couple of things that have been kind of leading me to talk about this topic this week. So the haircut, which was one of them, but it's a big deal. Like I just feel like the kind of annoying energy, I don't have to worry about that now. But the other one is I am doing a bit of realignment stuff, just getting my health and wellness back on track. I have not been exercising quite as much as I have in the past, and I felt very sedentary, not moving a lot. And it was just kind of want to realign, reignite my health and wellness. So I had a consultation with an Ayurveda, holistic wellness practitioner. So Ayurveda is an Indian, it's about life and the energy of living life. But a component of that is there's a whole lifestyle component, but a component of it is the dietary component. And there are different foods for different body constitutions. So we talk about, and they talk about the doshas. So the doshas are the vata, the pitta, and the kapha. And I won't go into that in a huge amount of detail. I sort of only know the surface of it, but been interested in it for a very long time, and have sort of dipped in and out of the eating, the dietary elements of the Ayurveda. So I had this consultation. There's quite a few things for me that I can adjust in my lifestyle, and it was beautiful. It was almost like this therapy session, which was actually really very reinvigorating. But we're talking about the dietary elements of it, and the practitioner said, I'm not drinking near enough water, that I need to have. I don't enjoy drinking water. I don't feel like I get thirsty. I don't like just the taste of water, so I will always put ginger in my water, ginger or lemon, but it's almost like I need to force myself to drink water. And he said, no, you should be drinking much more, but it's also about when you're drinking the water. And for some of you, this might be really, really obvious. For me, it was a really great reminder. And it was about starting the day with 2 glasses of warm water. So ice cold water is not good for any of the constitutions, but particularly mine. So warm water. And I don't enjoy cold water anyway. I've always drunk warm water just intuitively. And so 2 as soon as you get up, 2. So, yep, I knew that. I didn't do that. And then to drink water half an hour before meals and 90 minutes after. So not to drink during meals, which I knew, but I didn't kind of realize the importance of the 30 minutes before and the 90 minutes after. And that's about allowing our food to digest undiluted and to go through that natural process. So there's a whole lot of other things from this consultation that I will introduce, and different types of food for my body constitution, and also the elements that are going on in my life as well. So it's not just about my body, but it's also about what I'm experiencing in life. And food can be medicine, not just to nourish my body, but it can be medicine in helping with that as well. So there will be different types of food, and most of them I am intuitively drawn to. Some of them, but it's also some of them will be eliminating some of the things I really love. And it's also about that food combining. And it's there is some, is it complex? Maybe it's not complex once you get it, but there are some nuances around, what foods go together, and then when they're in, what they do internally, if they're together. So anyway, I want to get back to the water stuff, because in the consultation, my practitioner Ari said, just focus on 1 or 2 of these. Then when you feel comfortable with them, introduce others. And that's very similar to what I say when I am coaching. We talk about, what are all the things that you could be doing, but let's just choose 1 or 2 of those actions that you can implement, you can apply, you can practice, you can reflect on. And then when you've done that, then think about adding layers if you need to. It's about simplifying, not overcomplicating. And the water, really for me, noticing, that's what I'm focusing on, is number 1, having more water. And I must say, I have this last week, and now it's just like, I am noticing the differences, like when I do require the water, and I am drinking the water half an hour before meals, a half hour before, and that's sort of when I'm doing the prep for the meal. So it's got that half hour to do its stuff. Then I have my meal, and then I wait 90 minutes. That's the new bit for me. And my daughter asked me this morning, she said, have you noticed a difference, Mum? And I went, no, I don't think so. And then I sat and thought about it, and I said, actually, I have. And this has only been, less than a week that I've been doing this. I have noticed the difference, that drinking the water, I don't feel hungry in between meals. I used to be, mornings were not too bad. Afternoons, I'd be a snacker. And I'm not sure it was real hunger, but it was this craving for feeling unsatisfied. I didn't feel fully satisfied. And it was this, and especially after dinner. That was, I reckon I ate probably 80% of my intake of the day after the evening meal. So, and I just was kind of like, I don't feel satisfied. I feel really satisfied. I feel that the food I'm eating, so whether it's the food that I'm eating, that it's more grounding food. I'm moving from salads. I would eat a lot of salads and red meat, to having cooked, more grounded foods, even for breakfast. And the water, I think, is making a difference. So again, getting back to what this podcast is about, that those little tweaks that I've made to my intake is actually having a difference. And it's been a week, so it'll be interesting to see how that plays out, that this will become part of my just everydayness. it feels, I'm still thinking about it at the moment. I'm still conscious about drinking the water and when to drink the water, but it will become part of my natural just habits of, water consumption, that I think it probably won't take very long, that it will become just a part of how I do things. So it's interesting, even just thinking about what I usually do versus what I am going to do. And really, it just gets back to, are there little tweaks that you can make in your life, in any area of your life, whether it's about health and wellness, whether it's about how you feel about yourself, whether it's about your daily habits. Maybe there are some things for work, your relationships. There could be just some little tweaks that will build the momentum and make things have big results for you. That's really what I want you just to think about today. So that's a convoluted way of me sharing that message, but I do like to tell a story, and I have had feedback from you that you do enjoy my stories. So remember, there's that little free download, The Power of Micro Habits, and I have an other gorgeous resource. I love it. I loved creating it, and I absolutely love it. And this was based on a lot of the women particularly, some of the blokes, but women particularly that I work with, when we would sort of talk about, you have the answers within, and I kind of help guide them to be able to access those answers within. And quite a few of them says, but how do I know what my answers are? How do I know where those answers are coming from? Intuition. What really is intuition? Where is this guidance, Catherine? You're always talking about these downloads that you get. How do you know that they're a thing? Well, I've created this beautiful resource. It's a downloadable PDF that you can get. It's a little playbook called Whispers, Nudges, and Goosebumps. And it's really practical. It's soulful as well. It's fun. It's easy to help guide you through some practices that can help you to tap into your intuition and those answers within, and, the guidance that we get from our higher selves, from our spirit guides, and energy as well. So that's called Whispers, Nudges, and Goosebumps. And both of those links for The Power of Micro Habits and Whispers, Nudges, and Goosebumps will be in the show notes. So I hope you've enjoyed this meandering of goodness, and just keep being fabulous. Keep being fabulous. I will see you next time. Bye. Thanks for tuning in to Happy Go Fabulous. I hope you loved it. If you did, could I ask a big favour? Please subscribe, leave a review, and most importantly, share the love and let your besties know about the podcast. This will help get it into the hearts and ears of all the gorgeous souls who need a little bit of fabulous in their life. If you'd like some more high vibe happiness in your life, come and visit me on my Happiness Hive socials, and make sure you've signed up to my newsletter, your weekly drop of juicy goodness. Pop over to my Happiness Hive website and click on the link Working with Catherine. I'd love to help you make life amazing. Until next time, keep being fabulous.